Hi, you're watching Your Future, Your Finances. I'm Brian Kuhn. Today we're talking with Shannon Hammond, elder law attorney in Maryland. Welcome back, Shannon.
Thank you.
All right. So we were talking about a variety of things. One of them was what kind of legal documents people should have as they prepare for the rest of their life. Talk a little bit about those.
Sure. The three basic documents that everybody should have, regardless of stage of their life, if they're over 18 years old, they should have a last will and testament, a comprehensive financial power of attorney, and an advanced medical directive. And if I may just elaborate briefly on the advanced medical directive, there are also a lot of terms used to describe that document. Sometimes you hear a medical power of attorney, you hear living will, and you hear advanced directive. The Maryland Attorney General's form advanced directive is 3 parts. Part 1 is a medical power of attorney, where you nominate your healthcare agent and it describes the powers that the agent has. Part 2 of the advanced directive are the healthcare instructions, which is the living will, where you would make your wishes known regarding life-sustaining treatment. And then Part 3 talks about after your death, organ donation, and funeral arrangements. So the advanced directive includes all 3 parts in one document, so it's just important for people to understand that.
And then are there other steps people should take not necessarily contained within the documents?
Sure. Once you have executed documents, it's important to let your family know that you've named them to these very important positions in the document, so that if something does happen to you, they know that they would be responsible for stepping in and taking control, whether under a power of attorney or a last will and testament. I usually encourage my clients to present their executed financial power of attorney to their bank or financial institution immediately after executing the document. It doesn't mean that it needs to be used immediately, but it means that the bank can complete the legal review process and they can accept your power of attorney. They can even add the POA designation to the account title so that there will be no delay if somebody needs to step in and act as your agent. The document has already been accepted. So those would be important steps to take after the documents have been executed to really make sure that they've been implemented and put in place.
And then there's like written documents, wishes, or particular pieces of personal property, and things like that.
Sure. There's a paragraph or a provision in a last will and testament that talks about tangible personal property. And that's really somebody's belongings, your physical belongings in your house. It used to be more common to list those items in a will. I want my ring to go to my granddaughter or my armoire to go to my son. The problem with that is that you may not own that property at the time of your death, or maybe that person doesn't want that particular piece of property, or maybe you change your mind. So every time a change occurs, you would need to update your last will and testament to reflect your wishes. So now we have a provision that says if I have created a tangible personal property memorandum, which is a long term for a list of property and who I would like it to go to, you ask your personal representative to follow your wishes in the list. If you never create a list, that's fine too. If you create one and you change it 100 times, that's fine. You don't have to update your will every time you make a change.
Sure. Okay. Now, earlier we were also talking about Medicaid and assisted living facilities and so forth. There's long-term care insurance, not necessarily related to documents, but they go along with it. Talk a little bit about long-term care insurance. Is it helpful to have, and how does it interact with your practice?
Sure. I think an important point of clarification is that long-term care insurance is not the same as long-term disability. People make that mistake a lot, and they think they have long-term disability, which covers long-term care. Completely different animal. Long-term care insurance is very helpful, especially for home health care and assisted living, because you have very limited public benefit options to help pay for that type of care. The problem, my problem with long-term care insurance is that when people buy long-term care insurance thinking that it will cover the cost of their long-term care, which to me is a term of art, meaning in a long-term care facility or nursing home, the fact is that at least my clients generally have policies that only cover about half of the daily cost in a nursing facility. So many people have put forth the expense to buy long-term care insurance and still end up applying for Medicaid if their income is not sufficient to make up the difference. So I just think when you're considering a long-term care insurance policy, you want to make sure that you buy enough if the intent is that it cover long-term care.
Okay, great. Well, very helpful for our viewers. Anything else you wanted to share to help the audience?
Not that I can think of.
Okay,
I think
good.
that covers it.
Okay, good. Well, we covered a lot of ground. And a website you have?
My website is elderpractice.com.
And thank you to Shannon Hammond for joining us here on Your Future, Your Finances. We hope you found it very helpful. I'm Brian Kuhn, and we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you.